Hello students, welcome to Commerce lecture. Today we switch on to the principles of scientific management. The Principles of Scientific Management is a monograph published by Frederick Winslow Taylor. He has given certain principles. Those principles are: number 1, science, not rule of thumb. Number 2, harmony, not discord. Number 3, mental revolution. Number 4, cooperation, not individualism. Number 5, development of each and every person to his or her greatest efficiency and prosperity. The first principle is science, not rule of thumb. Rule of thumb means decisions taken by manager as per the personal judgments. Decisions should be based on scientific inquiry with cause and effect relationships. This principle is concerned with selecting the best way of performing a job through the application of scientific analysis and not by perception or hit trial methods. In this principle, Taylor states that there must be thinking before doing. Trial and error method or hit and miss method should be avoided. Instead, scientific and research methods should be adopted for performing any activity. Taylor insists on the use of scientific techniques which are based on cause and effect relationships so that the objectives can be achieved in a better way with the available resources, skills, and budget. The second principle is harmony, not discord. In every organization, there are two groups of people, that is workers and management. Both always feel dissatisfied with each other. Workers always feel that they are overburdened and underpaid. Management always feels that the workers are good for nothing and are paid unnecessarily. In this principle, Taylor insists that there should be complete harmony between the workers and the management. Both the management and the workers should realize the importance of each other. For example, Japanese companies, usually workers don't go on strike. Instead, they just wear a black badge and work even more than the normal hours just to impress upon the management that their focus is on the demands as well as organizational objectives. The third principle is mental revolution. Management as well as the workers should aim to increase the profits of the organization and it should be their ultimate goal. Workers should put in their best efforts so that the company makes profit. On the other hand, management should share part of profits with the workers. Mental revolution aimed at improving the thinking of both to create a better working environment. It involves a change in the attitude on part of both management and workers. It means management and workers should transform their thinking. Both should realize that they require one another. The fourth principle is cooperation, not individualism. This principle states that the work should be done in cooperation and with mutual confidence. Employees and management should cooperate with each other. The best way to gain full cooperation from the workers is that the management should try to set the goals and standards in consultation with the workers so that they feel that the goal is set by them and as a result of psychological factor, they will cooperate sincerely and willingly to achieve the determined goals. These principles suggest workers should be considered as a part of management and should be allowed to take part in decision making process of the management. Workers should be treated as integral part of organization and all important decisions should be taken after due consultation with workers. The last principle of scientific management is development of each and every person to his or her greatest efficiency and prosperity. Efficiency of any organization also depends on the skills and capabilities of its employees to a great extent. To attain the efficiency, steps should be taken right from the process of selection of employees. Efficient employees produce more to earn more. This ultimately helps to attain efficiency and prosperity for both organization and employees. From this, it is clear that every worker should be motivated to the extreme level so that he could give the best to do any work. They should be encouraged to work as a team for meeting the group goals irrespective of the individual goals. Before we winding up this chapter, I would like to say that we'll discuss chapter 2 in our next class. Thank you, children.